named Trey Emmanuel. And my song, my first song that I released is called Dance.
Yeah.
And the song, I dance. And my music video, you know what I'm doing?
Dance.
I dance.
Yeah.
I dance in the video because the video is about dance.
Right.
And it's called Dance, and I'm dancing.
Dancing, yeah.
Please, you should ask.
Yeah.
When I went to the audition, I had an agent, so my agent sent me out and said, hey, we have this, they want to see you for this character. He's a superhero, he's 16, and he needs to be able to dance, do martial arts and gymnastics. I'm like, I can do all that. They're like, yeah, well, that's great. So they want to see you tomorrow, and I was on a plane to go to Florida. I was actually going to do Star Search, Ed McMahon's Star Search.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in a singing group, and we were gonna go do Star Search, and I was already on the plane, so I was like, I can't go because I'm doing Star Search tomorrow, and they were like, oh, that's a bummer because if it gets picked up, then they're gonna do 40 episodes, and 40 episodes is a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe I'm missing this opportunity to be on this TV show. Oh man, I go to do Star Search on the plane on the way there, I lose my voice because all the air conditioning is blowing in my face. I get off the plane, it's humid, I'm sweating, I'm cold, I'm like, and I lost my voice. So I couldn't sing. I was the lead singer, so I couldn't sing. There was 4 of us in the group. I had one of the backup singers to sing the lead, won the competition, and I took his place as the background person. And we competed against Destiny's Child, and we both lost.
Wow.
Yeah, they lost. We lost. We all lost. And somebody else won. I don't know who won, but I went back home, flew back home on Monday, on Sunday, and I got back home, and Monday my agents called and said, they still want to see you. Can you go on Wednesday? And I was like, yes. So I walked into the audition. The acting part I already knew I had because I'm an actor. I've been acting, and I have a degree in musical theater. I am a theater person.
Yeah.
And so went in, played 16. I was 26 at the time. 25 when I auditioned. But to play 16 was easy because I've always looked really young. Always. And it's always been that way. When I went to high school, a bunch of girls ran up and say, excuse me, little boy, the elementary school's over there.
Yeah.
I go here. They're like, you're so cute. So that, and I said, okay, well, if I started like that, I bowed in, did a couple of punches, then I went to breakdancing, did some punches, did a swipe, stood up, did a backflip, landed out, and then bowed out. And they were like, that was great. Can you come back again next week? So about 2 weeks later, I was in a room with 3 different casts. They had auditioned, we had auditioned for almost a whole week. And they had 3 different casts. There was a small cast, that was us, a tall cast, and there was like an older cast. And each cast had each character, obviously. So there were 3 different sides. And so every Jason had to do his monologue, and then had to show his martial arts. Every Kimberly had to do gymnastics or whatever they could do, some martial arts, or to show off their physical ability. And then every Zach had to do hip hop keto. So the first Zach was he was kind of like, he was taller, but he went on to do a movie. He played Michael Jackson, so he's a very good Michael Jackson impersonator. And his style of hip hop was kind of like, was kind of weird. It was like, all right, he was Michael Jackson but fighting, and that was interesting. And then the other guy, he was kind of a hip hop dancer. He was cool, but he didn't have any martial arts technique. And then they came to me, and I was like, hey, so everything came into place, and I ended up being the OG Black Ranger.
Amazing.
I've always been a person that fit in anywhere. Like when I was in high school, I got along with everybody. I got along with the jocks, I got along with the nerds, I got along with like the preppy boys, I got along with the gangsters. I mean, I got along with, I could find something with everybody that I can relate to. And so I've always been kind of a diverse personality, and it fit me perfectly to be the character of that because that's what he was. It's like, all right, everybody likes me, we're all good, we're cool, I like everybody else, and it was fun. So yeah, that was that.
Yeah, nice.
Imagine or understand that I was playing a character that was mourning his friend who was actually my friend that I'm mourning.
Yeah.
Right? So, because we lost her in 2001, myself, and Austin, we went through something that none of the Rangers went through because we were, negotiating for a better contract right before our big movie, and then at the end of the day, they let us go and hired 3 new people. So that was devastating. But it was also took a lot of courage, like for us to stand up against the beast and be like, look, this is not right. It's not fair. Obviously, we should have all stayed together. That would have made the difference and would have made better for everybody. I'm like, here it is 32 years later and they're still making things with my face and I never get paid or anything of it, which is odd. But I think had we gotten a lawyer, which we couldn't do in the very beginning, because when they first gave us the contract, they were like, take this contract to your agent or your lawyer, but the first person that calls us and wants to change anything, we'll fire you and hire somebody else. Which is what happened to Audrey Dubois, because after we did the pilot and we came back for the series, she came back and said, hey, I want my money. They let her go and hired Tweet. So, lesson learned for the first season, for the second season, but now we're doing a movie.
Right.
Now we're established. We're no longer beginners. We're no longer people that nobody knows. We've established this cult hit in 40 countries around the world. You've already made $1 billion off the show. $1 billion in the first season. $1 billion. Did I say billion? That's 9 million. Add one. That's $1 billion. That's a lot. That's a lot of money, man. And there's merchandise everywhere. So now we're about to do this movie, 20th Century Fox. But not only is it one movie, it's 3 movies. It's a contract for 3 movies, all non-union, all garbage pay. Like insulting, completely insulting. I'll put it this way. I think for the first movie, I think it was at like 18,000, which is for a movie that takes 6 months to do. We're like, what is that? It's like that's what was written. Now, maybe that's not what they're going to pay us, but that's what we were agreeing to, and in a written contract, which has already screwed us before. So why not have a lawyer sit down and make a professional document that's fair to make it right for everybody? I went back to the show. They called me and said, hey, we want to find out if you're interested in doing this movie for the 30th anniversary. And I was like, is it SAG? And they're like, it is. And I was like, let's go. I'm down. Like, finally, SAG. That's all I needed, because once I left the show, I joined the union. And after that, if they called me and said, hey, you want to be in this? I was like, is it SAG? And they're like, nope. I'm like, can't do it. I'm in the union.
Yeah.
I've joined the union. I'm a professional now.
Right.
I'm treated properly, because there's rules that people have to abide by. And so I was excited to go back. I felt like there are generations of people that didn't know that I was the original. Because they seen Johnny and Josh had done like a number of episodes of Power Rangers. He'd done Mighty Morphin, then he went on to Zeo and did whatever, and people could see it, but it was like they saw the majority of him and the movie.
Right.
So it was like almost like he was the original, but he wasn't the original, and I was like I'm the original. So it was really good to go back to reinforce that, and also just to have some closure. I didn't know how much I needed the closure, because when you do a TV show or movie or anything, at the end of your shooting, they always go, all right, that's a wrap for Walter Jones, and everybody applauds, hey, thank you for your service in creating this character or whatever. It's like a thing you do as a professional working on the show, and I never got that, because when we walked away to negotiate the contract, and there's no closure. So 28 years later, I'm on the set, which is so strange. Oh my God, it's so surreal to walk into the command center and be like, man, I haven't been here in a long time. This is wild. Walking to the juice bar, I'm like, although it wasn't the same juice bar, it wasn't the same command center, but the transitions of time that had passed, like this is what this has become now. This is what used to be every day for me is now this. It's like going back to your high school and you look at your locker and it looks so much smaller than, and you're like, I thought this was a big locker. This is like, how did I get my books in here? It's kind of crazy. So to be back and experience that was amazing. And at the end of the show, they said, all right, that's a wrap for Walter Jones, and I didn't know how much I needed that. It was the closure I hadn't had. It was like the bookend to the beginning. And man, I thinking about it just now, I just got chills, because like it's that intense, because Power Rangers has been such a big part of my life. Although I did the first year and a half, first 2 years, first 85 episodes of Mighty Morphin, and then I walked away and I've been working, doing other things ever since. Every day I continue to be Zach, because every day somebody is like, hey, aren't you Zach? Or D, and I'm like, look around, you know, like, so it's followed me throughout my life for the last, before I went back to the show, 28 years. So it's never like I left.
Yeah.
It's always been a part of who I am, regardless of what else I've done. And so to get that closure and that moment was like, it was amazing to be back and to be reestablished in, you know, just all the love that comes from it. The love never went away. I mean, like every day, like I said, at least once or twice, somebody's like, you know, and one of my favorite sequences, you know what, the hip hop keto battle sequences were getting so much better. They're getting better and better and better, because we were working with these amazing stunt guys. We had an amazing stunt team, all these specialists in martial arts, different martial arts. And I, having my dance background, I pick up things like a sponge. So I was learning all these cool things. And I think in the second season, there's a fight that we had on the playground where I'm wearing this striped shirt and I got my braids, and I was leveling up. I was like, I think that's one of my favorite fight scenes. We were on the playground, we were on this tall play structure, and I was like running up and doing twists and doing like Hong Kong spins to the ground, and I was doing like triple kicks where you jump up. I would kick 2 putties and kick another putty on the way down. It was like stuff that was just, I never thought I could do, but I was pushing myself, you know, to be better and better and better, and the flow of it was getting nice. Like I was like on the ground, up in the air, to the ground, flip, I was like that sequence, I think, was one of my favorites. I don't know the name of the episode, but I remember what I was wearing, and I remember it was putties on the playground. And
I remember the sequence. I don't remember the episode. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, it was so fun. I mean, Jason Frank came in, and you know, he had that triple jump spinning kick. So we had to pull up our game. I was like, oh, okay, we doing. I could do that, but I hadn't. And now that he had done it, I wasn't going to do it to imitate him, because that was his thing now. So I gotta raise up my game. So I was like, okay. So we were getting better and better and better. And I think, had I done the movie, Hip Hop Keto would have been off the chain. I'm sure there would have been all kinds of elements I could have used. Like I could have added some parkour to it. I could have added like different things, because I could flip. I was like, I had hops. I could jump high up in the air. In fact, when I auditioned for Power Rangers, one of the things that continued to get me jobs is I would do, because yes, it was a kid's show, it was developed for kids, but what we learned over the years is that a lot of people watch the show for a lot of different reasons. Young kids watched it because they were excited about the colors and the martial arts and the moral lessons. And there were a lot of people that were on the spectrum that watched it, and they enjoyed the colors and something that feel good about it, you know, the diverse friendships and so forth and so on. There were stoners to watch it because they thought it was cool. Hey bro, Power Rangers is on, you gotta love it. So I mean, there were like martial artists that loved it, and that came at all ages. I mean, I went to a boxing match and I had ringside seats. And there was this big bouncer, had to be like 6'5", like 280 pounds, big dude. And I walk up and he's like, oh yeah, you're the Power Ranger. I was like, oh yeah, you got kids? Like, no, man, watch the show. And I was like, wow, okay. So fans from all walks. And at this point, if you were 8 years old, if you were 7 or 8 years old, then you're now 40. And if you were just born, it's 30 or 32. It's wild, and we still have fans now because of Netflix and the show being there, and you guys being parents, and the show having such an effect on you because it did have positive moral messages. It was the parent for people that didn't have parents. You know, if you didn't have, if your parents weren't giving you good moral messages from Power Rangers, it was like, hey, don't litter, don't litter, don't be a bully, don't do this, like be this kind of person, love the things that you love, like follow our example. And a lot of people that I meet now are Marines or work in the fire department or, you know, do things to help other people. And the reason they do that is because they wanted to be Power Rangers. And to have that kind of a positive impact on the world is such an honor. It's such an honor. And at the same time, you guys have kids now, and your kids watch the show because you come home and the kids are watching a different season, and there's lots of seasons, right? And the kids watching, and you're like, no, let me show you from the beginning. Let me show you what I learned. They're like, this is the Power Rangers I grew up on, and then they start from the beginning. They love that, but then they continue to love the rest of the seasons, and it's 32 years worth of Rangers, which is wild. Wow. Yeah, it's wild. I had an 11-year-old kid come to me at a table recently at a con.